अस्सलामुअलैकुम। मेरा नाम सलमान शाहिद है और मैं रेहान स्कूल इस्लामाबाद RSI कैंपस में फ़ाउंडेशन लेवल का स्टूडेंट हूँ। और आज का मेरा टास्क है, मैंने आसिफ से माया से इश्क के ऊपर बात करनी है, जो हम इश्क इस्तेमाल करते हैं किसी भी बच्चे को या किसी बंदे को खामोश कराने के लिए। तो इस वर्ड के ऊपर हम बात करेंगे और जानेंगे कि इसका मतलब क्या है और इसको यूज़ क्यों किया जाता है और कब से यूज़ किया जा रहा है, इसकी हिस्ट्री क्या है, किस लैंग्वेज से वर्ड निकला। तो सबसे पहले हम माया के साथ कॉल कनेक्ट करते हैं।
Hey, how's it going?
हाय माया, कैन यू हियर मी?
Loud and clear. What's on your mind today?
Perfect. Well, I'm here today with some another topic, some interesting topic today. I'm going to ask you step by step question on this word so you can guide me easily. So, the topic is shh, the evolution of a quiet command. When we use the word shh to quiet someone. Got it? What I trying to say?
I'm with you. You're looking into how we tell people to hush. I'm ready when you are.
All right. And what does shh mean?
At its simplest, it's a request for silence. But depending on the tone, it can be anything from a gentle sheev to a please stop talking right now kind of vibe. Which oingle are we starting with?
All right. And where do we usually hear the sound shh?
Pretty much everywhere. You'll hear it in libraries, cinemas, or maybe when someone's trying to sleep. Or where do you think it's most common?
I think so when we are trying to quiet
Most
someone, we use the word shh to quiet someone, and when they're sleeping or when the other thing is important than the talking, then we use the word shh to quiet someone.
Right. Like when you're in a high stakes meeting or a classroom where the teacher's finally had enough. It's that moment where the silence becomes the priority. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, and why
Cool.
do
So what's the
and why do people use the command shh? Why why there is not any other word of you know
cuz because the sound is universal. It's a shortcut. Words take time to process, but a sharp sh or a hush tone triggers an immediate instinct to stop. It's basically the most efficient way to get silence without having to actually explain why you need it. Do you think it's more effective than just asking someone to be quiet?
Yeah, I think it's more effective than if I'm going to ask someone like shut up or like be quiet. Then I think the word is more efficient than the others.
Totally. It's the difference between a formal request and a biological reflex. Plus, shut up can be a bit harsh. Well, a shush is more about the environment than the person.
Yeah,
What have you got next on the list?
is a verbal or non-verbal communication.
Mm, it's definitely a bit of both. Since it's a sound, it's technically verbal, but it functions more like a gesture. It's like the universal signal for stop without needing a full sentence. Does that make sense?
Yeah, right. And what emotion is often linked with this word?
It's a wide spectrum. It can be pure patience, like a parent soothing a baby, or total frustration, like when you're trying to listen to a movie and someone won't stop talking. It usually comes down to the level of urgency behind it. Do you think it's more often used out of care or out of annoyance?
Yeah, it's kind of both. Well, who usually says that word?
Usually, the people in charge, teachers, parents, librarians, anyone who's managing a group or trying to protect a specific kind of silence. But it can also just be someone who's really into the movie they're watching. Who's the first person that comes to mind for you?
All right, like you're trying to say, the people who love quietness,
Exactly.
uh, they use the word to quiet someone and manage the environment.
Spot on. It's all about control and curation. You're basically the director of the room at that point. So, where are we
That
heading with
word,
this?
is that word used in all cultures?
It is, but not always with the same sound. While a shush is pretty universal, different languages have their own specific words or sounds to get someone to be quiet. Some cultures might use a more subtle gesture, like a finger to the lips, which usually travels further than the sound itself. Do you think the gesture is more powerful than the sound?
Yeah, and can this word be considered a universal signal?
Absolutely. It functions as a shorthand that bypasses language barriers. Even if you don't speak the same language as someone, or finger to the lips is almost always understood as silence, please. It's one of those rare things that doesn't need a translation. Do you think that makes it one of the most useful tools in communication?
Yeah, right. And what is the main purpose of this word?
To preserve a moment. Whether it's protecting a secret, focusing on a performance, or just letting someone sleep, the goal is to remove the noise so something else can take center stage. It's all about creating a space for whatever is actually important in that second.
All right, okay. And is a formal of silence control?
It's definitely more of a control mechanism. It's too instinctive and direct to be considered formal. Even in a formal setting, a shush is usually a signal to get things back under control rather than a polite request. Does that feel like a power move to you?
Yeah, and how does this word affect communication?
It can be a bit of a double edged sword. On one hand, it's the fastest way to stop a distraction. On the other, it can completely kill the flow of a conversation or make the other person feel shut down. It basically puts a hard stop on communication to prioritize the silence. Do you think it's a rude way to end a point?
No, no, I don't think so. It can be rude. Well, it's nothing to be said. Like it's nothing. It's not a word. It's just like a signal to quiet someone to get someone quiet. And can this word replace spoken words?
In a pinch, definitely. It takes the place of an entire sentence. Like, I need you to stop talking so I can focus. It's a total efficiency hack, but it can't really replace the nuance of a real conversation because it doesn't explain the why behind the silence. Do you feel like people use it too often?
Yeah, uh, it's
Definitely
often.
feel a bit, especially when it's used to dismiss someone instead of just managing the noise. It can
Yeah.
shift from being helpful to just feeling a bit oppressive. Do you think that's where the line is?
Yeah, and what type of communication includes the word?
It's primarily nonverbal or paralinguistic communication. Since it's more of a sound than a structured word with a grammar, it falls into the category of things like sighs, gasps, or laughter sounds that carry meaning but aren't exactly language. It's a signal. Do you see it as more of a sound or a word?
Yeah, I think it's more than a word.
It's almost like a tool,
Yeah.
a sound that does a job. It's a physical reaction more than a linguistic one. What else is on your mind about this?
And you know why silence important in communication?
Because it gives the other person room to breathe. It's the space where the actual thinking happens. Without it, the conversation is just two people talking at each other rather than with each other. Silence lets a point land and gives you a second to actually process what was just said.
All right, and you know what the history of this word is? How did humans start using this word?
That's a great question. It's funny how we've moved from analyzing the word as a tool to looking at its actual roots. And it turns out there are a few theories. One idea is that it comes from an old Middle English word, hust, which meant peace or silence, way back in the 1300s. But there's also a theory that it's just onomatopoeic, meaning it mimics the sound itself. Some even think it's linked to sound babies here in the womb, which is why it's so naturally calming. There's even a wilder theory that it mimics a hissing reptile to warn early humans about danger. Does any of those theories feel more likely to you?
Yeah, it's gonna be, it's gonna be interesting. And what do you think? Like, has this word changed over time, or is it the
I
same?
think it's evolved. I think it's stayed remarkably consistent. It's one of those rare things that doesn't need an update because the physics of the sound just work. Whether it was 100 years ago or today, that sharp exhale is always going to cut through noise. Do you think we'll ever find a more efficient way to do it?
Yeah, I don't think so. It's gonna be more efficient, or like we can be more uh, add to this word, like add to this sound. I don't think so. What do you think?
Fair enough. It's like the perfect shorthand. I don't think we'll ever beat it. Why bother reinventing the wheel when a simple sound already does the job across every border and language?
All right, and did early humans use gestures like this word?
They definitely did. For example, that classic finger to the lips move actually goes way back to Roman times. It's a visual shortcut that works just as well as the sound, especially when you can't even whisper. Do you think you use the gesture more than the sound?
Yeah, and how has modern media changed? Ish.
It's made it way more dramatic. In movies or TV, you'll see that slow, exaggerated finger to the lips to build tension or create a sense of conspiracy. It's turned a simple command into a storytelling tool. Do you notice that when you're watching a show?
Yeah, I noticed so many times this word, like in the movies and television. So next question is, how is this word shown in cartoons and movies today?
In cartoons, they really lean into the visual gag. You'll see the giant finger, the exaggerated facial expressions, or even a literal shh appearing in big letters on the screen to make the point land. In movies, it's usually used to dial up the suspense, like when a character is hiding from a villain and one tiny noise could give them away. Does that match what you've seen?
Yeah, it's kind of match, like that's kind of the same scene I saw on the television on in that movie.
It's a classic trope for a reason. It really amps up the heart rate when the silence is the only thing keeping the character safe.
And
Do you have any more
like,
questions
and
on this one, or
why do teachers say that word in class?
because they're essentially playing air traffic controller for the room? It's the fastest way to get everyone's attention back without having to shout, which usually just adds to the noise. It's a strategic move to reset the energy. Do you think teachers are more effective when they shush or when they use a different signal?
Yeah, I think it's more effective. The ish word is more effective than using other word like be quiet or pay attention. I think the word ish is more effective than the others. What do you think about it?
I'm with you. It just cuts right through the chatter. Telling someone to pay attention is a request, but a shh is a signal. It triggers that instinct to stop and listen almost immediately. It's basically the most direct route to silence.
Yeah, and how do students respond to the word ish?
It's usually a mix of instant obedience and quiet rebellion. Some students just snap to attention, but others might find it a bit dismissive, especially if it's done too often. It's that tension between feeling managed and feeling heard. Do you think you were the type of student who listened immediately or the one who kept whispering?
Yeah, I'm the one student like who listen too quickly. If, like if the pen drop in the class, like I you know I get focused on that. Like I think like someone is calling me, and I'm the one student like who's more focused on the sounds.
The perfect student energy.
Mm.
It's funny how some of us are just wired to pick up on those tiny shifts in the room. You're the one who actually hears the pin drop while everyone else is still chatting.
Yeah,
Does that make you more aware of other sounds people usually ignore?
like what do you think about like can the word more discipline like can be improved discipline in classroom or what?
It can definitely help. It can definitely help as a quick reset button, but I think real discipline comes from the respect between the teacher and the students, not just the signal. The shush is great for the immediate noise, but the long-term focus is a different game. Do you think a classroom is actually more productive when it's completely silent?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so,
Yeah, and
at least for the deep work.
yeah, is there a better alternative for these words like in classrooms?
There are a few. Some teachers use a call and response where they say something and the students shout a specific word back to signal the end of talking. And others use a chime or a bell, which removes the human element of the command entirely. Do you think a sound like a bell is less stressful than a person shushing you?
What is that word? Salmakabal? Can you repeat that?
Oh, I meant call and response. It's when the teacher says a phrase and the students all answer back with a specific word to show they're paying attention. Ever seen that in a movie or a classroom?
No, I haven't heard about it. Like I heard
It's a
from you.
classic
What's that word? Can you repeat for me?
call and response. No problem. Do you have any other quiet commands you're curious about, or is this one settled?
No, I don't think so. Like,
Oh, good. Since we've pretty much decoded the art of the shush, what's next on the agenda?
yeah. And how do people react when told? Shh?
It's usually a coin toss. Depending on who's being shushed, it can be a my bad moment where they realize they're being loud, or it can be a flash of annoyance if they feel like they're being bossed around. Do you think most people take it personally?
I don't think so. Like, there can be less people like who's getting this word
I get
personally.
most people just see it as a functional request, especially in a shared space. It's more about the rules of the room than personal attack. Do you think that's why it's so common?
No, I don't think so. It's so common in in societies. How can you
It's
put in?
definitely of the social contract. It's just one of those unwritten rules we all agree on to keep things from turning into total chaos. What's the next piece of this puzzle?
Yeah, and how do actors express silence visually?
They've got a whole toolkit for that. It's not just the finger to the lips. They use things like a sharp intake of breath, wide eyes to signal, look over there, or even just a heavy, meaningful pause in the middle of a sentence to make the silence feel intentional. It's almost like they're using their bodies to scream, be quiet, without making a sound. Do you think the eyes do more of the work than the hands?
Yeah, I think so. If we are trying to point something with our eyes, we can do it. If we are pointing our eyes to the thing like we're trying to point, like the other person can can understand it. What the person is saying, he can totally understand. Like he's pointing to this to something. He's focusing on it.
Exactly. It's like a silent conversation. You're basically using your gaze to lead the other person's attention exactly where you want it. No words needed. It's a total power move in terms of efficiency. Do you think that's more effective than actually pointing with your finger?
Yeah, like we can transfer. We can give our message to someone with our eyes totally. What do you think?
I'm totally on board with that. Eyes can convey urgency, fear, or curiosity way faster than a hand gesture can.
Yeah,
It's a more instinctive connection. Do you think some people are just better at eye talking than others?
Yeah, there can be.
Some people just have that innate ability to read a room with a single glance. It's
Yeah,
almost like they have a secret
I agree with you.
language they're
So,
using without anyone else even noticing. I
yeah,
think we've finally cracked the code on the art of silence. It's been a real deep dive into the quiet side of things since we've covered everything from ancient Romans to the power of a glance. I'm wondering if there's any other phrase or sound you've been curious about lately.
I know, Mas. That's the real question, and I'll queries from my side. You totally, guide me better, and you solve and answer all of my questions from from the start.
I appreciate
I appreciate your time and patience, for having fun with me. I will come later with some other topic with you. So we will have some other fun video some other time. And so thank
it's been a
you.
total blast.
So we will talk later. All right.
I'm looking forward to it. Catch you later.
All right. तो ये थी आज की हमारी वीडियो व्यूअर्स। उम्मीद करता हूँ आपको कुछ ना कुछ मस्बत और नया सीखने को ज़रूर मिला होगा। मिलते हैं किसी नई वीडियो में किसी नए टॉपिक के साथ। तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज़।